What is up, guys? His Ames here, and we are going to be covering Starfield today. I'm going to give my initial thoughts and kind of just do a quick review. I have 25.3 hours into the game. I know this game has been criticized. It's been kind of trashed in the reviews. And honestly, some of the people that I've seen review it don't seem like they have played it very long or very much and just kind of wrote it off. And I don't necessarily agree with that. To give you kind of a little bit of story of myself and my playthrough, I mean, I'll agree, like, it is kind of slow in the beginning, and I was kind of discouraged because there's a ton of menus, the key bindings to learn, the way things work, and honestly, there's times where they don't really tell you what to do. And you kind of just have to learn on the go and pay attention to what things do what. And it was frustrating in the beginning. It was a very big learning curve. Probably the biggest learning curve I've had in a game since like an Elder Scrolls, like Elder Scrolls Oblivion was the last Elder Scrolls game that I put a ton of time into. And there's just a lot to learn. And I think that's where maybe some people have gotten thrown off, or maybe it's kind of pushed them in the direction to they don't want to spend the time to learn all the systems and things like that. And maybe that's why they gave it a bad review. Maybe they didn't know what type of game they were getting when they bought this game. It's pretty much Skyrim in space, is how I describe it to people. So if you like Skyrim and the way that plays, you'll maybe like this. If you don't like the space aspect of it, you're just not going to like the game. But with that said, I'm just, like I said, I'm going to do a quick review here, kind of go over some things, my thoughts, and let's just get right into it here. The graphics, guys, graphics are good. Obviously, it's Unreal Engine 5. There's nothing to complain about. It looks great. I play in 1440p. There were some performance issues when the game came out. They did release a patch that seemed to help, as well as NVIDIA released a driver that seemed to help. And I still do get times where the performance seems lackluster, especially in towns. But with that new NVIDIA driver update, I did notice that it did help my frames, or maybe it's just all in my head and it didn't help shit. But at least I feel like the NVIDIA driver update did help the performance of Starfield. But yeah, I mean, besides the fact that it's a very demanding game, and then they had the performance issues, it looks great. It runs, for the most part, good. Lower end systems are going to struggle. And Unreal Engine 5 is very demanding. But yeah, graphics, phenomenal, great, good. Nothing to complain about. I mean, some of the NPCs, like walking around the streets, just have some like generic faces, but that's kind of, I guess, expected in a big open world game like this. But yeah, graphics great. They're good. Gameplay, honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with the gameplay. I love flying around in my ship. I love fighting people in space. I love walking around the different environments and different worlds, exploring the planets. We have the base building I'm just now kind of getting into. I did start a base on a planet, and that's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, but it's also a little frustrating because you pick up so much stuff, and then I kind of forget where some of my stuff is with which characters. So I actually had to write down where like some of my materials were. I get it where they want you to like manage your inventory, but that's like one of the things I hated the most about Skyrim. Um, and it's honestly one of the things I hate the most about this game. They need to make it easier to manage like where things are. Like I don't want to have to go talk to three different people and look for a specific item I need to build a specific building on my base. But with that said, the base building is still fun. Like I like building my base on my planet, figuring out things to build to get it power. Um, if you're on like a windy planet, you build like wind turbines. If you're on a planet that gets a lot of sun, build some solar panels, things like that. My base right now isn't even anything like crazy. It's not anything crazy at all. It's just some basic base. I don't think my game is at the base. Maybe it is. I don't think it is. We'll load it up here and see if I can show you the base. But yeah, the base building is fun. Um, the one thing that's not really my favorite is the combat. I mean, combat's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely not what like looter shoot, like a true looter shooter like Destiny, or the Division is. So there's large amounts of time where there's downtime, where there's not a lot of combat. And with that, even when there is the combat, it is definitely Skyrim-esque. Uh, yeah, I'm at a mission. It looks like right here, so that doesn't really help us out. But the combat just is very Skyrim. Like they have hit points. It's not a very fast-paced combat, which is honestly fine with me, because like I went into the game expecting kind of slower combat, slower battles, and things like that, which is probably a turnoff for some people. Because honestly, it was a turnoff for me starting out. Because the first battles you run into are not very big at all. You might take on like maybe 3 or 4 people, and then it's over, and you go into the next part of the story. But they're also trying to introduce you to like some of your main characters in the beginning to get everything moving in the direction of the story, and then you kind of get to points where there are bigger battles, more enemies to kill, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, gameplay's good. Gameplay is good. There's definitely a lot of things I like about it. There's things that I don't like, obviously, but no game is perfect, right? The world, the world, I think is great. I think it feels good. It feels like I'm in a big universe, traveling planet to planet. Uh, and I feel like I am part of the world. You know, what you do in this game affects the quests, and not all quests, but there's certain quests where you'll have an option to persuade, or attack, or there'll be other dialogue options, and then if one of the options is attack, you can select a different option to like work it out, or whatever. You go talk to somebody and try to compromise and get things resolved. So I did that once, and I was like, you know what? I wonder if I just shoot this guy and start a battle, if it's going to revert to the attack option on the quest, or is it going to bug out the quest? So I did that. I saved it, and then I shot the guy, started the battle, and after everything was said and done, after I killed everybody I needed to kill, it went on to like, okay, it just flipped it to as if I would have attacked from the get go. And I like that because my decisions matter. There was another time where I had an option to get a bunch of supplies for a colony ship from Earth. I still haven't completed that because it takes quite a bit of supplies. Or I could figure out essentially a way to get rid of them. So I was like, well, I wonder if I can kill just like everybody on the ship. And I started to, and then I had a conscience in a video game, and there was children running around. I was like, well, I'm not going to kill the children, and it doesn't let you kill the children in the game, which is good. But what you do can affect your quests and affect where the quest line goes, even if you've selected a different option. And I like that. Flying around on the ship feels good. I know a lot of people are probably annoyed about all the loading screens and jumping in the sea and then hitting the gravitational button to portal or jump to a different solar system. You know, and at first I did hate it, but now I'm kind of like, well, that's part of the immersion. Like, I actually feel like I'm getting in the ship, you know, flipping on the gravitational jump drive to go to a different solar system, and then boom, we go, we're there. And it feels good to me. I like it. I do like it. The world feels good. Immersion feels good. It's good. Story characters. I feel like there's so much going on in this world. It's hard to keep some of it straight. There's just so many different characters you run into, so many different side little storylines going on. Um, and I mean, it's good, but there's times where I'm just like thinking like this is almost too much. You know, like it is good. It is really good. There's a ton of dialogue, which is good and bad, because I don't necessarily want to sit here and go through all that when I'm trying to play through this game and get through it and play as much of it as I want to, and then move on to the next game. Um, I like to play a variety of different games, experience a variety of different games. And this game is so big. I mean, I plan to get through it. I feel like it's gonna be another Witcher, where it's gonna take me like 100 hours, because I like to do not everything, but I like to do quite a few things quest wise in the game to get a good feel and experience for it. But I mean, so far the story is good. It's actually making me want to jump on and play. I'm at a point in the story where I want to learn where certain uh, enemies are coming from, where why we're collecting these artifacts, why certain people are attacking us for these artifacts, and what these artifacts actually do. So the story has drugged me in, and like I said, I actually want to play it and continue the story, and that's good. That's a good story to me. If I'm interested in it and I want to play it and log on and play it some more, like that's a good story-based game to me. The music, I mean, the music's. I'm not gonna spend too a whole lot of time on the music. It's okay. It's kind of just meh, just kind of whatever. It's there. It fits the purpose. It does what it's supposed to do, but it's nothing crazy to write home about. The bugs that I ran into are kind of weird. Nothing that has like broken a quest, but there's just instances where you like go to talk to somebody, you'll be like talking to the back their back, like they won't be looking at you straight on. And then there's other times where you talk to somebody and they'll just like start vibrating back and forth on the screen. This is what it looks like. And it's just kind of weird. There's an instance where an enemy fell through the floor and his head was sticking out of the floor, so they just unloaded on his head and killed him. Uh, but I mean, you think about that kind of stuff and say that guy's head wasn't sticking out to be able to kill him. You had to kill everybody in this mission on the outside to go inside the base. So if he would have fell further down in the map, and I wouldn't have been able to kill him, then that's not good. Because then you would have had to possibly reloaded to a save point, and hopefully he doesn't fall through the floor again, right? So those are some of the bugs I've ran into. I haven't ran into any quest breaking bugs so far. Knock on some wood. Knock on some wood, you know. But I mean, overall, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I'll come back to this game and do a final verdict. I don't expect it to change because this is more of a story-driven game. Whereas when I did my final verdict, say on like Diablo 4, that had to do more with the end game was stale. And when I get to the end game of this, you know, you're pretty much done, right? It's a story-driven game. Like once I get into the story, like okay, I'm done. You know, cool. Put it on the shelf. You know. So I'm gonna give this game 8 out of 10, guys. I think it deserves an 8 out of 10. I I don't know. I think it'll be up there for game of the year, but I don't expect it to win, and I could eat my words on that. Um, I just feel like there's still some good games yet to be released before the end of the year, but we'll kind of see. You know, I don't know really. I mean, Hogwarts is was a pretty great game that people love. Baldur's Gate 3 just got released, and so I would say Hogwarts, Baldur's Gate 3, and Starfield will probably be up for the game of the year. Uh, maybe Diablo 4, but like I said in one of my previous videos about Diablo 4, I don't think you're going to see Diablo 4 in game. But anyways, guys, we're getting to 15 minutes. This video is getting lengthy. I know your time is valuable. I appreciate you stopping by. Please give it that thumbs up, and please like and subscribe. I appreciate any likes, any subscribers. Much love. We will catch you on the next one. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Have a good night wherever you're at in the world, either night or day. See you later.